So hey guys, it is Mommy Wannabe, and as you can tell by the title, I'm here to tell my miscarriage story. It's been about a good month since everything's happened, and now everything is pretty much over with. So if you guys have followed my channel, you know that my hubby and I have been trying to conceive for about 3 years now, a little over 3 years, and 2 years into trying, we decided to go see a fertility specialist, which we started this year, February. So yeah, we started February and starting off at the fertility doctor. Just a little recap of, you know, what's been going on. I'm not going to too much go into detail because I don't want this to be a long, drawn out video. But in February of this year, we started, and they started off by doing some vaginal ultrasounds on me, and they did a semen analysis on my husband, and they also checked my tubes to make sure things were flowing the way that they should. So during my very first ultrasound, I learned that I have a bicornuate uterus, which is a uterus abnormality. It's not your perfect shaped uterus. It's more of a heart shape, which, you know, some people think is cute, but with the bicornuate uterus, there are some things you have to be worried about, such as you know, miscarriages and preterm labor and a breech birth, which, you know, can lead to a C-section, which are all the things going into a pregnancy, is all the things that I did not, you know, of course no one wants that, but those are all the things that I prayed would not happen to me. But, you know, after finding out that I have a bicornuate uterus, you know, this is something I know I have to live with, and I knew that getting pregnant, I would be very, you know, very worried and very afraid. So anyway, we started in February, and we went from February up until July when we got our very first positive. We did 6 rounds of Clomid at 50 milligrams, or I did 50 milligrams of Clomid at 50 milligrams of Clomid. You know, we did that 6 times. And the last 4 cycles, we included Ovidril shots, which is just a trigger shot. It helps you to ovulate. I had no problem with ovulating on my own, but with also doing an IUI, they just wanted to make sure that I ovulated when the IUI was done. So every time after I took the Ovidril shot, I would go in 36 hours and have the IUI done. So our last IUI was done on July the 20th. Right before we went on our very first vacation. We went on a cruise to the Bahamas. So we had an IUI done that day, the day before, and that was the only cycle, the only IUI cycle where I ovulated from my left side. The other 3, I only ovulated from my right side, which after doing the HSG dye test back in, I believe it was in March. After doing that back in March, we did learn that my right tube is semi-blocked. You know, it's not fully blocked, but it wasn't free-flowing like, you know, my left side. So I was just really bummed every IUI cycle I went into, I was only ovulating from the right. But this last one, I ovulated from the right and the left side, so I knew there was a 50-50 chance. I was very hopeful, and, you know, I was very encouraged, and so I went on the cruise without a care in the world. You know, we had a great time, and we came back that Saturday. The whole time on the cruise, I didn't think about, you know, trying to conceive or being pregnant. Of course, my family talked about, you know, me being pregnant, which is what they always talk about. But I didn't talk about it. I didn't think about it. I did have 1 pregnancy test with me, but I didn't take it. So yeah, we got back that Saturday. I decided to take a pregnancy test, and I did with one of the like little cheapy ones that's like 87 cents or something at Walmart. I took one of those, and it was a very fake positive. Like, I was just like so blown away that it was a positive that I was just kind of psyching myself out. I checked that test like 15 to 20 times that day, no lie. I checked it so many times that day, and I also took a OPK test along with it, and that OPK test was definitely positive. Like, that was kind of weird to me. So, you know, I just, you know, chucked it up like, oh, it's just an evap line. I'm not pregnant, you know, but I'll take one tomorrow. So I woke up Sunday, I took another one, and that test was definitely negative. There was no positivity in that test or anything. So Monday I didn't take one, I had to be back to work on Tuesday. Decided to go ahead and test before I came to work, and I took an old expired digital one. You can go back and look at my old videos if you want to see, you know, exactly how everything went down. But I took an old digital one, and it was positive. Like, it said pregnant on it, and I was just like, you know, that's not true. It's old, it's expired. I gotta take another one. So I took one with the 2 lines, and there was no denying that I was pregnant, and that was the happiest day of my life. I was just so happy from that day forward. So, you know, called the doctor to confirm pregnancy. I went in 2 days later, and they took my HCG levels, and I was confirmed that I was pregnant. I went back a few days later. The first time they checked my HCG, it was 110. The second time, it was 1,231. So they said things were going up. So they scheduled me for my first ultrasound, which was at 5 weeks and 4 days. And going into that appointment, I just knew I was going to see a heartbeat and everything. But they told me before I even got my ultrasound done that they're only checking to make sure that I am pregnant and that things are implanted correctly or blah, blah, blah. I wouldn't see a heartbeat. So I was kind of bummed, but, you know, I was like, whatever. So at that appointment, the ultrasound tech said that things looked great. The baby was implanted on the opposite side of my split, which is perfect, which is what I wanted to see. And after seeing that, I was just, you know, so a little bit more relaxed that, you know, things were going to be okay. And she said the baby was implanted up high and it should get good blood supply where it was. So I was very hopeful and, you know, still very scared, but just like really, really hopeful that things was going to work out. So they scheduled me for a follow-up ultrasound, which would be to confirm the heartbeat. So waited. That was the longest 2 weeks of my life that I waited for that appointment. And the first time my husband went with me, but to confirm the heartbeat and everything, he didn't go. I just went by myself. And so I went in and, you know, sitting on the table, just waiting for things to get started. A student doctor came in first, and she didn't know my history or anything. She did not know my history at all. She did not know I had a bicornuate uterus or which side the baby would be on. So, yeah, so she searched around for like 2 minutes. And then my regular ultrasound tech, who normally does my ultrasound, she came in. And she searched around for like maybe a minute or two. And I just kept asking, you know, do you see it? Do you see anything? Do you see it? And she was just like, you know, she's taking notes and whatever. And just by looking at the screen and feeling their vibe, I can kind of tell something was not quite right. And then the doctor came in like maybe a minute later, and she looked at the screen for no more than a minute. And her words to me were basically things were not progressing the way that they should have been. It didn't look like the baby grew much. She said that there was not a heartbeat and that the baby was measuring a week behind. So I was, of course, very, very, very devastated and disappointed. And so she told me the baby was measuring a week behind. I should have been 7 weeks and 4 days, but the baby was measuring at 6 weeks and 4 days. At that appointment, it was just kind of, I don't know, for someone to be experiencing what I was experiencing at that appointment, I didn't feel any comfort or anything like that. It was just more so, you know, you miscarried, so let's go ahead and give you these drugs to go ahead and induce the miscarriage, and let's get this baby out of you so that we can start over. And I wasn't okay with that because I didn't have any symptoms of a miscarriage. I wasn't bleeding, I wasn't cramping or anything. So I just decided to get a second opinion, and I decided to go somewhere else. So fast forward, that appointment was on August 29th when I found out, you know, that there was no heartbeat and the baby wasn't growing. And then my follow-up appointment was on September 17th. And from October 29th to September 17th, I still experienced no bleeding, no cramping, no nothing. The only thing that I did notice that changed was I didn't have any pregnancy symptoms. My nipples were still a little tender, but I didn't really have any symptoms. I didn't really have any pregnancy symptoms, which I didn't have too many symptoms to start off with when I first found out I was pregnant. So I wasn't really too concerned about that. I was still very hopeful because I wasn't bleeding, I wasn't cramping or anything. Like, it was just nothing. And to let that doctor, my baby basically died on August 22nd. So by September 17th, I'm like, nothing happened. I did a lot of research, and I saw, some people go in at 7 weeks, and, it's okay if the baby is measuring a week behind. The baby can always catch up. Sometimes you don't see the heartbeat. So after reading all those, I was very hopeful, but also I read, people going through the same thing, and they went back, and it was confirmed that there was a miscarriage. So I was just, still holding on to hope. So I went in on the 17th. My husband went with me this time. And we went for, the second opinion, met with the doctor first, and so I told her what happened at the last place, and she was very concerned and very worried about, how I was feeling. She didn't let me go back and sit out in the waiting room where all the pregnant women was. She was just very, basically protective of my feelings, which I really did appreciate that. So anyway, me and my husband, we waited in the room for about an hour before we can get an ultrasound done, and when they did the ultrasound, I remember the screen was just blank. You can see my uterus and bladder and everything, but there wasn't anything in my uterus anymore. There was not a gestational sac, there was not a baby, there was not a yolk sac anymore, which was very odd. And even the ultrasound tech said that she had never seen anything like that before. From reviewing my other ultrasound pictures to what they were seeing on the screen now was to them was just, pretty much impossible, which, I guess it is possible. So anyway, that day, basically that, it was confirmed that I did miscarry, but they were very worried about why I had not bled yet and where everything went. So that was on a Tuesday. They took my HCG levels. And up until that appointment, I was taking pregnancy tests from the time that I found out that I possibly miscarried up until my second opinion. I was taking pregnancy tests, and they were all still coming back positive. They were still all very positive. So anyway, they checked my HCG levels that day, and it was 11,000. They told me to come back that Thursday, and they would check it again, and it was starting to drop. It went down to 9,000 on that Thursday. And I met with the doctor that Friday, and she basically, just told me that my body pretty much reabsorbed everything. She had never seen anything like that in her 18 years of practice, and that she was just worried about when I would start bleeding and everything. She said I should have been started bleeding, but from that Friday I can bleed any minute now. So yeah, basically, I asked her, did I miscarry? And she was just like, she was kind of afraid to say yes, but I was already at peace with it. I had 2 weeks to prepare myself for that visit, so I was just, I was still already at peace, which, I still cried at that visit. I'll probably cry in this video. So, yeah, she said that if things don't change by Tuesday, to give them a call, and that she would prescribe me the same medicine that the last doctor prescribed me to, start a miscarriage. They didn't want to do a DNC on me because of the type of uterus that I have. They said it would be dangerous to do a DNC. So they really wanted me to just go ahead and take the pills, which I was so afraid of taking the pills. I'm not one to take the pills. So anyway, after that appointment on Friday, I was, what can I do? I already know, I miscarried, so I would just wait to bleed, and that's what I decided to do. So Monday came, and I went to the pharmacy. I still had the same prescription from the last doctor. I just went ahead and got that filled that Monday, so just in case by that Thursday, if I don't start bleeding, then I was going to go ahead and take the pills. So I picked that up Monday over lunch, but by 6 o'clock on Monday evening, I started to bleed, and it was not a heavy flow. It was like a heavy period type flow. It wasn't like when you hear women say that they miscarry and it just starts pouring blood and just like pouring and pouring and soaking through pads and soaking through pants and soaking through towels and stuff. Like, mine was not like that, and I guess it's because my body kind of reabsorbs most of the stuff. I still had a lot of clots on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I still had a lot of clots. By Thursday, which was last week, by Thursday things started to, kind of clear up a little bit. I remember Monday through Friday I had really bad cramps, so I did take medicine for the cramps, because it was just way unbearable. I couldn't sleep at night because it was just too painful So I would wake up in the middle of the night to go and find something to take, and yeah, that was great. So by Friday, I remember like Friday around maybe 9 p.m. was the last time I experienced some cramps. And today is Tuesday, October the 1st. And I haven't cramped or anything since I felt that last one on Friday. I pretty much stopped bleeding. So I'm not counting this as my first cycle. I'm going to wait till next month till my cycle start, and then, you know, get over it. And then me and my hubby will start to try again before the end of this year. So maybe like November, December, we'll get a chance to start trying again, which I'm very excited about. I told you guys that we do have, you know, other ways that we're going to start trying, that we're going to try to conceive. We're not going to go back to the fertility specialist anymore. I'll explain that to you in another video, because that's a whole nother story. So yeah, I just really wanted to come and just let you guys know exactly what happened with my miscarriage. Still pretty sad about it. You know, last night was, you know, a pretty bad night. I cried a lot because this was the week that I was waiting for. I should have been 12 weeks this week, going into my second trimester, but you know, oh well. So yeah, I'm gonna start crying now. I'll go ahead and end this video. Any of you ladies that's gone through anything like what I've gone through, please send me a message. If you have anything you want to say personally to me, don't be afraid to message me or leave a comment below. You know, this was my very, very first pregnancy, and we lost it, and it's hard to deal with, but time does make things better. So if you are going through what I have gone through, just know that in time it will get better. You know, you'll still cry because it's been, what, a month or so since, you know, I found everything out, and yeah. So me and my hubby, we're just excited to start trying again. I will go back to making my TTC videos and updating you guys on what we're doing and what's going on. But I'm also going to do videos on other stuff too, because I do love makeup and jewelry and clothes and stuff. So I may come and do a few videos here and there. I have a beauty channel that has all that on there, so I won't swamp this channel with that type of stuff. But I do have a few things I like to share with some of you ladies on here, beauty wise and hair wise. So I'll come and do more videos on that and updates on trying to conceive. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and have a great day. And October 1st starts Breast Cancer Awareness Month. As you can see, I'm wearing my pink. And it is also awareness of other things in this month too, which I'll do a separate video on. I learned that October the 9th through the 15th